Hey, here we are, Route 66. We're in day number 249, and we're in the middle of Ezekiel, and we come across, I like how the Bible has it, we come across a unique prophecy that not only is a prophecy, but also it kind of looks beyond and underneath. And I'm talking about Ezekiel chapter 28, so I'll get into that and touch a little bit of that. It's interesting. But Ezekiel is prophesying about what's going to happen to Israel as well as some of the surrounding countries. And we're in Ezekiel chapter 27, 28, and 29. Chapter 27, he describes the city of Tyre, Tyre, as a majestic trading uh, land. It's got riches, it's got everything. It's like a great vessel that is wrecked at sea. And Tyre was a coastal city, so this kind of went along with them. But just like a mighty ship that gets hit and sinks, Tyre is going to sink. And the nations who traded with her will mourn because they needed her. The city made them some money, and so Tyre is going to go down. And then in chapter 28, there's judgment on the king. It begins with a judgment against the prince and then the ruler of the city and the area, but also against the king. And there's some sections there, the second half of chapter 28, beginning in verse 12. And he says in verse 13, this king, this has been in the Garden of Eden and covering, and was, verse 14, the anointed cherub. And verse 15, perfect in thy ways from the day that thou wast created till iniquity was found in thee. And verse 17, your heart was lifted up because of your beauty. This is an extension of some insight into Satan, who we know as Lucifer, the devil, that was one time a good angel, a cherubim, and because of his pride in how God had created him, he became rebellious and was in the Garden of Eden and tempted Adam and Eve. And so this is kind of an interesting prophecy, or at least exposure of the pride of Satan, the fall of Satan, and also this chapter ends with the hope of Israel's restoration. Just like Satan tempted Adam and Eve and they fell, he tempted God's people and they fell. He tempts many of us and we mess up, and yet God always restores. In chapter 29 is the judgment that's going to be on Egypt. Pharaoh is compared to a great sea monster. And again, Egypt is on the Nile and close to water that God is going to drag away, and Egypt is going to be laid waste for 40 years and then restored to its former greatness. And Nebuchadnezzar is going to be the one that's going to bring God's judgment against Egypt. So some lessons from the reading that you're going to have today. One lesson that you can read from all of it is pride. Pride is a mess up. Self-sufficiency. I don't need anything else, whether it be individuals, whether it be leaders, or whether it be nations. That's going to lead to downfall. We are all interdependent. We can't do it alone. We need one another. So pride and self-sufficiency is dangerous. A second lesson, wealth, trade, influence is not enough security. It's not. All the things that we're able to do, all the things that we're able to accumulate, there is no security in that. Not only is there not safety, security. Safety is the fact that nothing can happen to it. Security is the feeling that I'm all okay. The only security we have is in God. And then third, even in judgment, God remembers his promises. God remembers his people. God will restore. And so even though people sin, even though nations sin, individuals sin, if they come to God, God will restore them. So he continues to tell his people that in the Old Testament. And it's a reminder for us today that God is willing to restore our life if we'll but turn to him. And that's a good thing to do.